Welcome to another episode of the Holistic Sister Circle. Today we have Tammy here with us, and Tammy really focuses on empowering your transformation from burnout to brilliance and really discovering the inner magic within you. And I am so excited to have her with us today. Tammy, can you just share a little bit with us about what is burnout to brilliance? Let's get right into it.
Yes, thank you. I'm so excited to be here. And burnout to brilliance is a way to describe what a lot of women are actually going through right now from, they're doing all the roles. They're doing everything. They're like a boss, they're a chauffeur, they're a cook, they're the, activity planner, they're the, dishwasher and laundry cleaner, right? They do everything. And women then tend to get really burnt out. They don't know who they are anymore. They're so stressed. They're just going from one thing to the other, to-do list, to to-do list, to to-do list. And they get to the point where they start burning out because there's nothing fulfilling for them anymore. While they probably really do enjoy doing everything they can for their family and making sure everybody's taken care of, they're missing a piece of themselves and they're missing taking care of themselves. So they start to burn out. And as you start to burn out, things are like, well, who am I? What am I? Shouldn't there be more to life than this? Like, is this all there is? And sometimes we need to burn out in order to be able to come back even stronger. Because when we come back even stronger, we come back from a place of going deep, deep inside ourselves where our embers live. And we get to know who we are at our core to be able to figure out how we can come back with a stronger light moving forward.
I'm so grateful that we're talking about this too, because I resonate with this so much. And I do believe that us as women, we have different stages of this burnout, depending on who we're around at any given moment. So your burnout may look different if you have toddlers running around versus if you have teenagers versus if you have adult children. So I would love for you to just share, and I know obviously within your family as well, you have a blended family, which is amazing. And that's a whole another story.
Yes.
But I would love for you to share just some of the things that you've seen, whether it's with your clients or what you've experienced just within your home, within your own family lifestyle, the different stages of burnout someone may be going through depending on what phase they're in life.
Oh, absolutely. So, the first stage of burnout is just exhaustion, right? You're just tired. You got too much on your plate and your body is basically going, if you do not, get some sleep, I'm not going to be happy. So your body then may start to get sick. So you may get a cold and your body will force you to slow down. The next stage of burnout would be you keep pushing past that and then your sleep starts to really get disrupted because you'll go to sleep, but then you'll wake up in the middle of the night and the first thing your mind is going to do is it's going to go through your to-do list of all the things that you need to get done. And it is going to go on repeat. And then it's going to start coming up with all of these things that could go wrong if you don't get things done. So, you start catastrophizing. That's my word. I love that word because you take something that is so small and you make it so big that you're going, oh my God, that if I don't get this signed and that done and this done and dinner on the table by 6:00, then this is going to happen and that's going to happen. And you start you start creating more problems for yourself. And I'm sure a lot of us are going, yeah, I've been there. I've been there. And then the next stage of burnout is you actually stop wanting to go out and doing things. You actually stop wanting to, go for a drive or even go home if you're at work or go work if you're at home. You're just like, really? I just don't want to do anything. Just leave me alone in my own little bubble and just go away. Let me just put my head down, get up what I need done. And then talk about going out with friends, you just don't want to. You're like sitting in the corner at a party instead of actually partaking in the festivities. The final stage of burnout, which I went through and I experienced right before the dark night of my soul, was I was numb on the inside. I was smiling on the outside. Oh, yeah, everything's fine. It's great. Ha ha ha. But on the inside, I was like, I felt like I was a walking shell. I couldn't, kept trying to do things, but nothing ever worked. So it's like, and it hits people differently depending upon whether they're in the toddler stage, because I'm sorry, but if you're running after toddlers, you're always going to be tired. But it gets to the point where you realize, no, this is more than just exhaustion from running after toddlers or exhaustion from trying to keep 4 teenagers occupied and all their activities straight on top of working a full-time job and having a partner. So it's just that extra little bit of, holy crap, I'm just hanging on by the skin of my teeth.
Mm. Now, with these different stages of burnout, what are some practical things that women can do to ensure that even if they're at the highest of the height of it, that would at least get them to a position where they can not just be aware, but actually start taking action towards some of the things that they're experiencing?
I'm going to say something that most women are going to sit there and go, no. And it is ask for help. We as women want to do everything. We think we're super women. We think, oh, no, I've got this. I can do this, like anything. Oh, I've got the groceries. Yeah, I'll carry, 17 bags in at exactly the same time rather than making extra trips, right? We have some innate need in us to prove that we can do anything we set our minds to. And we can, but we don't have to. And we don't have to do it on our own. We can do it by asking for help or by saying, you know what? I'm in a bad mood. I'm apologizing ahead of time for anything nasty that may come out of my mouth. Especially with older children, it's actually really good to show them that, mom and dad get angry or get in bad moods too, because it normalizes it without making it such a big deal. And you're like, I'm having a bad day. I'm apologizing ahead of time. And I started doing that, and it was amazing how much care, concern, and love my whole family gave me when I was able to be vulnerable with them like that. So being
Mm.
vulnerable, asking for help, getting help. We go to the doctor when we have a cold. We go to the doctor when we break an arm or a finger, or we have a muscle strain. We go to a massage therapist when our back is hurting. When we're struggling, it's okay to go seek help, be it from a guide, a mentor, a therapist, a friend. Those friend dates where you just go out and it's just a total bitch session. Sometimes you just need to get everything out so you can take a look at things differently.
Yeah. And I definitely resonate with that because I remember last year, it actually was working with a trauma therapist because I mean, I don't know what stage of burnout I was in, but it got to the point where I didn't even recognize who I was. I was like, I don't even know who I am at this point. Like, I literally was giving myself away to so many different things and people to the point where I felt like I was just like this big. And when I started working with her, one of the things that had really helped me during that period, because honestly, being vulnerable is such a hard thing to do when you've never practiced it.
Mhm.
So, one of the things that she had recommended that I do was she's like, you have a system for work. You have a system for your business. You have a system for all of these things except for you, for what you like, for what you don't like, for what you'll tolerate, for what you won't tolerate. And she's like, just like you have a system for all these other tasks and things that you're doing in your life, you also need to create a morning system and an evening system. And
Mhm.
she's like, even if part of your evening system is just watching TV for 2 hours, that's part of your relaxation time. And she had recommended that I focus on these different pillars of my life that made me feel excited and made me feel like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to do that, whether it's in the morning or it's in the evening. And I told her, I said, man, one of the things that really make me happy is when I have an opportunity to just really be in my zen. So whether it's sipping hot tea or sitting in the sun or doing yoga or again watching a movie or reading a great book, like these are the things that really excite me and it doesn't require anything extra for me to do. I just felt like I never had time to do it. So she's like, why don't you schedule those things? Like, actually schedule those things, put them on your calendar, and give yourself time to immerse in the things that you enjoy. So it forced me to cut off my day because for me, it would be like, oh my gosh, I gotta, do this and do that. I gotta run here. And I have like all these clients and I have to work, 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 work. And I never had a cutoff date. I never had a cutoff time.
Yeah.
So 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock PM still here and I'm still working it out, getting nowhere. Like I'm not moving further ahead. And I
And
found by me doing that, I was more productive.
well, that's awesome because I would say you were I mean, from my own experience, you were at a mix between sort of mid-level burnout and high-level burnout, especially the part about you not knowing who you were. But when I was at high-level burnout, the idea of adding one more thing to my to-do list, even if it was something I wanted to do, was like, no way, can't do it, no way, no how. Because it just felt too confining. And I was already feeling confined enough in my glass box that I had put myself in.
Mm,
And so just for me, it got to the point where I was tired of snapping at my family and I was tired of them saying to me that I was mad at them when I wasn't, that it got to the point where it's like, okay, here's, I'm in a bad mood. They tell me I'm mad at them. I'm really not. I'm more mad at myself. So I better just stop that so that I do no longer affect them
right.
because that's what was hurting me. It wasn't the fact that I was hurting myself. It was the fact that I was hurting my family.
Oh,
So, I mean, for me, it was and it still is to this day, a journey into the deepest parts of me, into who I am, into what I like, what I don't like. What do I want? What don't I want? How do I want people to treat me? And then I had to first start treating myself that way in order to teach other people how to treat me that way. Because if I don't treat myself the way I want to be treated, how can I expect anybody else to know what I want?
right.
So it's been a very interesting journey and one that I am I mean, looking back on it, at the time I didn't love it. Looking back on it, I can definitely understand the progression and the reasons for why I went through what I went through. So,
And it reminds me too of just the importance of setting boundaries
mhm.
because those are literally your guardrails and having them in place consistently. Because over the past couple of months, I've been practicing saying no. Like that's the hardest thing to do
It
for
is
me.
no.
No, no, not doing that. Nope, nope. And I'm just like, but the more that I do it, the better I get at it. And now I can really strategically say, okay, does it make sense for me to do this? Or am I actually just doing it just so I can have an extra thing to do? So I said I did it.
Mhm. And the other way of you saying no to something for those who get that guilt that comes back on them, oh my God, I can't say no, right? Because then I'm letting so and so down, or I'm letting this down, or I'm potentially letting this expectation down, is you're actually saying yes to yourself. You're actually saying yes to who you are and what you want and what's good for you at this time.
I love that. Absolutely.
It's really important. And it's a different way to shift it, right? Is I'm not saying no, I'm saying yes to me.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about you have a program that you just started that you're coming out with.
I
Tell us a
do. I am
little
so
yeah.
excited.
Tell us a little bit more about it and who it's catered to. I would love to know.
So this program is called the One-on-One BizFairy Godmother program. And literally it's a 6-week program for entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, mompreneurs, small business owners. I'm thinking like 2 to 3 people max in the business, where you get me. You get me and all of my technical background glory. You get me and all of my business foundation glory. You get me and all of my magical glory. You get me, all of me. And I help you strengthen and streamline your business infrastructures and processes and help you go from point none to point done. And what I mean by this is if you're struggling with getting your email funnel up and running, I will work in the trenches with you to get it done. And the point of this is I help you understand it and we do it together so that when it comes time for you to hire out, you know what you're asking for and you're not going to suddenly, somebody's not going to come along and go, oh yeah, I can do this for like $7,000. And you're like, well, wait, I know that that's only worth, $500. So you actually build your foundation so that you can grow for ultimate success. And it's
Wow.
for entrepreneurs who are either starting up, revamping, or having a product launch or a program launch. And they just need that, like stuff needs to shift really quickly and you just need help.
I love that. And how does it work if someone's already experiencing burnout?
If someone's already experiencing burnout, I pull in all of my practical spiritual tips and tricks and tools that I have up my sleeve, and I help them better understand who they are. Because part of the reason why a lot of entrepreneurs get overwhelmed is because we have so many ideas, right?
Yeah.
So many ideas. And it's like, oh, gotta do this, 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 gotta do this. And you're like, oh my God, what do I focus on first? And so it helps sort all that out. And because I'm working one-on-one with you, I am not going to say, oh, I've got this done for you program here, just implement it, because everybody works differently. So I work in your business, your way, offering suggestions and guidance. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, we'll try something else. That's the beauty of working one-on-one with me.
This is amazing. And I'm so glad that you found your niche. Like this was something that we've talked about, really working on your messaging. And now you're here and you're sharing it. And I love it. And I'm so excited to be just a part of the journey with you in some way. This is
And
awesome.
I actually do have to give kudos to you a lot, because I had been trying to do all sorts of other things. And then it was you and I sat down for those 3-day session, 3-day, 1.5 hour, 2-hour sessions. And it was just bing, bang, boom. And while it didn't quite fit, it pushed me forward to the trajectory of where I'm at now. And I could not have done it without you. Like you were like the diving board for me. It was awesome.
I love that. Because the thing about it is too, it's like when you're working with a coach or a mentor, a consultant, or whoever it is, their job is not to give you the answers. Their good job is just to help guide you. So, because you know the answers are already inside of you, but sometimes you just need someone to kind of help guide you so you can figure out, okay, where do I go from here? And maybe I wasn't understanding that step correctly, but now I have like a entirely new vision or goal for what this next phase of my business should look like. So I'm super proud.
Exactly. So I take that aspect of it, of what you want done is already inside of you, but I marry it with the whole technical admin, day-to-day structure that is needed in order to grow a successful business. So
Amazing. Well, Tammy, thank you so much for being a part of the Holistic Sister Circle community. We're so thrilled to have you today.
well, thank you so much for having me. It's been a great time.
You're welcome. Queen, thank you so much for tuning in. It truly warms our heart that you're taking the time out of your day to connect with us. If you'd like to connect with our guests further, you can find their information located in the description section of this episode. And if you found this episode helpful, share with another queen. And don't forget to connect with the Holistic Sister Circle on Instagram and Facebook. And until next week, stay blessed. Mwah.